everybody. I hope you all are fine and safe. Now we'll come to our next topic, organizational structure. Now, what is organizational structure? It is a formal arrangement of jobs within an organization. When it is modified or altered in any way, it is termed as organizational design. Now, design consists of decision making regarding the following: specialization, departmentalization, chain of command, span of control, centralization and decentralization, as well as formalization. Thus, the elements of organizational structures are as follows: departmentalization, hierarchy, centralization and formalization. Now, what is centralization and decentralization? Centralized organization is that where the authority is to make important decisions retained by top level managers. So, all the important decisions are taken by the top level managers. In case of decentralized organization, the authority to make important decisions is delegated to managers at all levels in the hierarchy. So, in case of decentralization, there are a number of authority and these responsibilities are distributed in different levels. So, this is the diagrammatic difference, where in centralization each and everyone is centered around the concerned person, whereas here there is no concerned person, rather the chain of commands are just like this and communications is flowing among individuals. Now, this is the basic comparison between centralized and decentralized organization. In case of centralized organization, communication flow is vertical, whereas it is open tree in centralized organization. Decision making is slow here and it is comparatively faster in decentralized organization. Advantage: proper coordination and leadership is found in centralized organization, whereas in case of decentralized organization, sharing of burden and responsibility is found. In case of power of decision making, in case of centralized organization, it lies with the top management. In case of decentralized organization, multiple persons have the power of decision making. Reasons: inadequate control over the organization is found in centralized organization. In case of decentralized organization, it is considerable control over the organization. Best suited for small sized organization and best suited for large sized organization in case of decentralization. Now, coming to formalization. What is formalization? The degree to which jobs within the organization are standardized and the extent to which employee behavior is guided by rules and procedures. Thus, in case of highly formalized organization, individuals will behave like the same manner. In case of low formalized organization, individual can behave in their own way. So, highly formalized jobs offer little discretion over what is to be done, and low formalization means fewer constraints on how employees do their work. So, formalization, what is this? Refers to degree to which job within the organization are standardized. Now, this is the difference: high formalization, job descriptions, lots of organizational rules, procedures covering work processes. Here, in low formalization, non-programmed job behaviors are found, and great deal of the exercise discretion in their work. Now, coming to departmentalization, it is the process of grouping activities into units for the purpose of effective management. So, where there are a lots of activities, there is a need of departmentalization. You are grouping the activities under each departmentalization in order to make it more easy. Now, grouping of jobs, processes, and resources into logical units to perform some organizational task. It is to make the huge organizational works easily flowable. Now, coming to the need and importance of departmentalization, it increases the operating efficiency of the employees. It makes the executive alert and responsible in his duties. It increases the prestige and skill of the departmental heads. It helps in better coordination among the managerial personnel. So, based on these elements, we can find that there are two organizational structure. One is called tall structure and another is called flat structure. In case of tall structure, many level of authority relative to the organizational size is found. Here communication gets difficult. More time is needed to implement decisions, because in each and every case you have to go to the organizational head. Now, in case of flat structure, few levels of authority are there, but wide span of control. Here, result is quick communication and can lead to overworked manager. Now, these are the two diagrams of tall and flat organization. In case of tall organization, there are different levels of authority, there are different hierarchy, and the number of hierarchy is more, and the span of control is narrow. Manager, assistant manager, supervisor, team leaders, and workers. Whereas in this flat structure, there is wide span of control, MD, departmental manager, supervisors, and workers. So, here no need of team leaders is found. Okay. Thus, wide span of control, and it is the flat structure. Now, regarding the reporting relationship, tall versus flat organization. In tall organizations are more expensive because of the number of managers involved. It fosters more communication problem because of the number of people through whom information must pass. In case of flat organization, it leads to higher level of employee morale and productivity. It creates more administrative responsibility for the relatively few managers. It creates more supervisory responsibility for managers due to wide span of control. Now you can give another typology, okay, of organizational design. One is called mechanistic model and another is called organic model. In mechanistic model, it emphasizes importance of achieving high levels of production and efficiency through extensive use of rules, and procedures, that means it is more formal, and centralized authority, high specialization of labor. In case of organic model, it emphasizes importance of achieving high level of production and efficiency through number 1, limited use of rules and procedures, that means low formalization, and decentralized authority, relatively low degree of specialization. Okay. Now coming to the other major types of organizational structure, there are these 4 types. One is line organization, line and staff organization, committee or team organization, and matrix organization. Coming to line organization, the line organization is the simplest organizational structure. It is the doing organization, in that the work of all organizational units is directly involved in producing and marketing the organizational goods and services. There are direct vertical links between the different levels of the scalar chain. Now what is called scalar chain? This is the chain of command. Chain of command means who is the manager, that manager will give commands to the subordinates, then that subordinate will again commands to its subordinate, just like this, the chain of command. Since there is a clear authority structure, this form of organization promotes greater decision making and is simple in form to understand. On the other hand, managers may be overburdened when they have too many duties. So in this case of line organization, managers are there is a risk that the managers are overburdened and they have too many duties. So this is the picture of line organization: president, vice president operation, vice president marketing. Now under these 3 different departments. The second is line and staff organization. When staff specialists are added to a line organization to advise, serve or support the line in some manner, we have a line and staff organization. These specialists contribute to the effectiveness and efficiency of the organization. Their authority is generally limited to making recommendation to the organization. Sometimes this creates conflict. However, such conflict can be reduced by having staff specialists, often some line experience, which will tend to make them better understand the problems facing the line managers they support. Such functions as human resource management and research and development are typical staff functions. Okay. So in case of line and staff structure, there is president. In case of line structure, under the president there is vice president operation, there is vice president marketing. But here 2 different levels, those levels are specialized in such functions. One is director personnel and another is director research and development. So they are experienced in such area, those persons are added in this line function. So this is called line and staff organization. Now coming to committee organization. When a group of people is formally appointed, it is also called team organization. When a group of people is formally appointed to consider or decide certain matters, these types of structure is a committee. Committees can be permanent, standing or temporary and usually supplement line and staff functions. Sometimes ad hoc or temporary committees are set up to deal with a specific problem. Once this committee makes its recommendations, it is dissolved. On the other hand, permanent committees usually act in an advisory capacity to certain organizational units in manager. For example, committees are used to a large extent in universities. They may report to a dean or department chair. Certain committees, called plural committees, have the authority to order, not only to recommend. These committees are usually reserved for a very high level, such as the board of directors. An example is an executive committee of the board for compensation or for succession planning. Although committees have a number of advantages, they also have a number of disadvantages, particularly being excessively time consuming. Hence, they should be managed effectively. Now, coming to the final structure, that is matrix organizational structure. Now, the features of matrix organization, the peculiarities or characteristics or features of matrix organization are: first of all, it is hybrid structure. Matrix organization is a hybrid structure. This is so because it is a combination of two or more organizational structure. It combines functional organization with the project organization. However, therefore, it has the merits and demerits of both of these organizational structures. In functional organizational manager, the functional manager has the authority over the technical aspect of the project. The responsibilities of functional manager are: he decides how to do the work, he distributes the project work among the subordinates, he looks after the operational aspects. In case of project manager, the project manager has authority over the administrative aspect of the project. He has full authority over the financial and physical resources which he can use for completing the project. The responsibilities of project manager are: he decides what to do, he is responsible for scheduling the project work, he coordinates the activities of the different functional members, he evaluates the project performance. Thus, in short, it is the summary of matrix organization. The matrix organization structure takes the characteristics of both type of organizational structure. The matrix structure is a composite of the projectized organization structure and the functional organizational structure. Here the knowledge, skill or talent of an employee is shared between the functional department and project manager team. In a matrix structure, some employees usually work under more than one boss, usually two. The first boss will be their functional manager and the other can be a project manager. Now, this is the end of organizational structure, and we have discussed regarding the elements, the types, flat and tall structure, mechanistic and organic model, and the line and staff organization, committee organization or team organization, and matrix organizational structure. Okay, thank you. কি হলো, তুমি দাঁড়িয়ে আছো? তোমাকে তো বারণ করলাম, আমি এরকম করার মানেটা কি, যে চলে যাও। তো এখন গিয়ে কি হবে, আমি তো তখন যেতে বলেছি। safe.